My step-parents called me a leech, unaware I was funding their lavish lifestyle. So, I cut off their $50,000 monthly support and walked away. Their stunned faces were priceless. Hello Reddit I plus here. I always knew my step-parents didn't like me. They never said it outright, but I could tell. The way my stepmom Helen would sigh whenever I walked into a room. The way my dad acted like I was an afterthought compared to Jason, her real son. I was just the extra baggage from his first marriage. Fine, whatever. I didn't need their approval. What I didn't expect was for them to call me a leech. The irony? They had no idea they were living off my money. See, after my mom passed away when I was 10, my dad remarried pretty quickly. Helen came with Jason, her perfect little son who could do no wrong. If Jason failed a class, it was the teacher's fault. If Jason wrecked his car, well, boys will be boys. Meanwhile, if I so much as breathed wrong, I got lectured about respect and responsibility. I left at 18, put myself through college, and by 26, I had built my own business. I wasn't just doing well, I was thriving. And that's when the help request started. First, it was small. Hey bud, we're a little tight this month. Mind covering the mortgage? Jason lost his job, just until he gets back on his feet. Helen's car is acting up. You know how expensive repairs are. At first, I didn't mind. I figured, hey, it's family. But somehow I went from helping with a little to funding their entire lifestyle. By the time I was 30, I was sending them $50,000 a month. Their house? My money. Their cars? My money. Their lavish vacations, designer clothes, and Jason's fifth failed business attempt? All me. Not that they ever said thank you. Fast forward to last Christmas. I decided to visit, thinking maybe it'd be nice to see them. They were hosting this ridiculous, over-the-top party. Caterers, champagne, expensive decor. I stood there, watching Helen in her designer dress, Jason talking about his next big venture, and my dad just drinking like he had no worries in the world, and then I overheard them talking about me. Jason scoffed. I don't get why he even bothers coming around. Helen sighed. I know, he's such a leech. A leech. The guy literally bankrolling their entire existence was a leech. I laughed. Actually laughed out loud, which caught their attention. I walked over, set my drink down, and said, you know what? You're right. I am a leech. They smirked, thinking they had the upper hand, until I pulled out my phone, tapped a few buttons, and said, just canceled every single payment. The house, the cars, the credit cards, all gone. Have fun paying for this party. Silence. Helen went pale. Jason looked like someone just punched him, and my dad, had the nerve to say, you can't do that. Oh, I can, I said. And I just did. Then I picked up my drink, took a sip, and walked out. 3 days later, the panicked calls started. It was a misunderstanding. We didn't mean it. You can't just leave us like this. Oh, but I could, and I did. Last I heard, they had to sell the house, downsize, and get this. Jason had to get a real job. Best decision I ever made. A few months later, I got a text from Jason. Congrats, asshole. You ruined our lives. I just stared at it and laughed. Ruined their lives? I just stopped funding them. Big difference. I never responded. Blocked his number instead. From what I heard through distant relatives, Helen threw a fit when they had to sell the house. My dad tried to guilt-trip some distant cousins into helping them, but no one took the bait. And Jason? Well, last I checked, he was actually working. A regular 9-to-5 job like the rest of us. Karma's funny like that. As for me, I'm thriving. More money in my pocket. No leeches bleeding me dry.